coverage of the National Football League presented by EA Sports. Coming up, we've got what should prove to be a good one between the Minnesota Vikings and the San Diego Chargers. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Bridgewater on first down. And his first pass here is going to fall incomplete. Stephon Diggs, his intended receiver. And it'll be 2nd and 10. The starters now on offense. And Stephon Diggs, our first chance to see him today.
Brandon, remember we had this conversation about how highly recruited he was in high school. Didn't quite live up to it in college due to some injuries.
Looking for Diggs, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Dwight Lowry. And they will take over at the 29-yard line.
Well, timing is everything on a route like this. He tried to drive that football into a tight spot. And if you're a little early or a little late, chances are there's going to be someone there. And sure enough, this one's going the other way.
Again, we'll see the pistol here. This is Gordon. And he is going to lose yardage here. The loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
Well, the person carrying the ball is always the easy target when things aren't going so well. But I think it's a combination with the Chargers. They've got to get the offensive line going in order to improve those numbers from last year. They weren't very good running it, partner.
No, they were bottom of the AFC, second to last in the entire NFL. And this is caught. First catch for Keenan Allen. It's a pickup of 15 and a fresh set of downs.
That was a nice completion on an out route, and those types of plays are the result of arm strength by the quarterback and timing by the receiver.
Ready, 380!
And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. First down, Rivers. And his throw here's incomplete. Keenan Allen, the intended receiver. And that'll make it 2nd and 10. And a look at the offense that is hoping to put some points up in bunches here in this one. A 2nd down throw for Rivers. Right back for Allen. This time he finds him complete. 7 yards on the play, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down.
When you see zone defense and you know you got a drag route on as your primary call, you got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Short of the sticks after that completion, and now it's 3rd down for this offense. They'll throw again. Rivers. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down. So now on 4th down, on comes Josh Lambo and the field goal unit for the Chargers. And Lambo will put this one through, and the Chargers grab themselves a 3-0 lead. So they get the ball first here in front of the home crowd under the lights, and they get 3 points out of it.
And there's something about a night game, isn't there? A little extra snap, a little extra crisp in the air. What a terrific way to get things started. A little extra excitement, a little extra dazzle for the home crowd.
Now the Vikings offense gets set to take over here. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. Time quickly to look at the Chargers defense.
Corey Legion is rapidly making a name for himself as a defensive tackle. Knows how to penetrate upfield and disrupt plays in the backfield.
Second down following the incompletion. The man in motion is right. A second down throw for Bridgewater. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. He was looking for Jarius Wright that time. And it'll be 3rd and 10 now. On 3rd down, Bridgewater. And that will be incomplete as well. He was looking for his tight end there, Kyle Rudolph. And that'll bring up 4th down.
Not only was that a 3-and-out, it was their 3rd straight incompletion on this drive. And they didn't even think about trying to run the football. Now they have to give it up.
The 3 straight incompletions, they don't care. That hasn't dissuaded them. They're going to go for it on 4th. They're indeed going for it. Bridgewater. And it is incomplete. Boy, a real head-scratcher there. And the Chargers will get the football back in excellent field position. And now San Diego getting set to go. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
And it's possible that today the most important group could be the linebackers.
Yeah, the second level, as we like to call them, right? Defensive front has to control things, but the linebackers, they do more than clean up. They help create big plays.
On 2nd down, they'll run with Gordon. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
Anthony Barr got a real education at UCLA in playing not just his normal position of stand-up outside linebacker, but down defensive end. So he had to incorporate a variety of moves, take on bigger people. So he learned great leverage while he was there. That really helps him when he's trying to stop people running the ball.
Born in South Bend, Indiana. Thought about going back to go to Notre Dame, but you're right. Great career at UCLA and now a great career in the NFL.
Well, the advantage has certainly shifted to the defense as we began that 3rd down play, and they found a way to foil it and pick up a 1st down.
3rd time's a charm, right? 2 incompletions. Had to have it on 3rd, and they got it.
Yeah, they stuck with it, weren't daunted at all, and picked it up.
They come out here in the eye. And he's in across the chalk. Touchdown, San Diego. Phillip Rivers taking it in. And the Chargers are going to add on to their lead. And he's got it up and through. And Lambo now, after the touchdown, he'll kick this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And last time out, went for it on 4th down, turned it over, gave them great field position, turned into 6 points, so they've got to recover here, Charles.
It's amazing what one decision can do in the chain of events, right? The decision to go for it on 4th down.
Caused all of that.
It caused every bit of it, but it showed confidence. Hey, I've got confidence in you guys. Go pick it up for them. Didn't happen. Also showed confidence in the defense. They didn't pick up their end of the bargain, so now they've got to come back out and start over and rebuild that confidence.
The second down throw for Bridgewater. And he fires one that's intercepted. And now off to the races down the right side. And he brings this one back. It's a pick six and a Charger TD. Short throw pick six right there. Those linebackers, they love when those short throws come and those eyes get real wide, don't they?
How about the anticipation on the play? Reading, reacting, and then the ability to catch the football and take it in the opposite direction.
And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. And the Vikings now heading onto the field. Back to it after the pick six. Bridgewater. And incomplete, a drop there in the middle third of the field. That'll bring up second down.
Looked like they had an opportunity for a big play across the middle, but he didn't have the concentration or the focus necessary and dropped it before he could haul it in.
On second down, Bridgewater again. Caught on the right side by Treadwell. 5 yards on the pickup, and that'll lead here to a third down.
If you're running out route, it's likely you're going to end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
Toe tap.
You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
Third down, it's Adrian Peterson. And tough going there as he'll only get it up to about the 31. NFL teams last year a little under 50% on 4th down conversions. This is a bit tougher. 4th and 4. Fighting his safety valve here. That's complete. And he's brought down after a good gain. That one good for 21 yards. And they're able to pick up the conversion here on 4th down. First down and 10 now for the offensive group.
Let's go.
They go play action here on first down. The throw left side complete to Treadwell. 15 yards through the air and a first down.
In recent years, the slot receivers really gained stature in the NFL because they can do so many things. Yes, they can line up wide like your normal wide receiver, but to have that kind of courage and toughness to run routes in the middle of the field and become dependable targets for their quarterbacks and move the sticks, those guys are worth their weight in gold.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down. And 15 yards there on the catch and run. Fresh set of downs here. From the red zone now, Bridgewater being chased out left. And it's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Stephon Diggs from 17 yards out. And the Vikings are able to close the gap just a bit. Oh, it's a fake. They'll try and throw for it. And complete. Right side, the tight end Rudolph. And he will get into the end zone to shave 2 more points off the deficit. And so we have the touchdown now. Here's Blair Walsh to kick this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll wind up getting an extra couple yards here for his trouble as he'll bring this one out to the 27. Out comes the San Diego offense as they get set to see what they can do here. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
And confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you've scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around. First down, Rivers. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And that's caught inside the 30. And all the way in. Touchdown, San Diego. Keenan Allen, 73 yards. And the Chargers find a way to stretch their lead. Back now to begin the second quarter with Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin. It's the Chargers here with a football, as we'll see one following the score on the final play before break. Here's Lambeau out to kick this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. Oh, a nifty juke there.
Not much fun for a guy trying to tackle him.
And now out comes Minnesota. And they're hoping to capture some of that magic they had last time out when they were able to put together a scoring drive. But they're still down here, Charles.
Not the major concern, though, because of what you talked about. They scored the last time out. They feel good about themselves. They feel like their game plan is now in effect. They know how to attack and what plays they want to put together. But they've got to keep it moving in the right direction.
And for a third time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked off by Casey Hayward. And his guys are going to get the football at their own 47-yard line. The Chargers offense gets set. They head back onto the field. And following that long touchdown pass, a one-play drive last time, see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been ready the last time. That's what you work on all the time. Make sure that no one gets...
Looking for Benjamin, but it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And he's able to get it back to the 41-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And last time wasn't pretty. One play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens. Trying to shake off the interception. And he'll be grabbed from behind and slung down like a rag doll. Melvin Ingram in there to bring him down for a loss of 7.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the back.
And for the fourth time tonight, it's an interception. Picked off by Denzel Perryman. And they take over. They'll set up shop at the 46-yard line. And now San Diego getting set to go. And last time, one-play interception. So this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling. Because a one-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people think the very next time out, run the football, don't give them a chance.
Maybe play action?
I think maybe you go play action, show your quarterback, get a little confidence in him, and let him fling another one.
Flush to his right. And this one's incomplete. He was trying to hit Melvin Gordon there. And that'll make it 2nd and 10. So incomplete on first. Let's see what second down has in store. One receiver left. That's Allen. On second down, Rivers again. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. Red zone opportunity.
Let's make this one simple. What a catch, especially the finishing part of getting his feet in bounds, toe tapping, and, of course, foot dragging.
A little tapestry, if you will.
Oh, I like it.
Now Gordon on first down. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down.
Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good first down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on first down, you're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
They'll put 2 receivers left, 2 to the right. Throwing Rivers. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Keenan Allen, the intended target. And just like that, it's third down. Incomplete pass on second down. Let's see what the offense draws up here on third. 1 receiver left, 3 to the right. On third down, Rivers steps away to his left. And this is complete. It's Allen. And he's in for a Charger touchdown. Keenan Allen with his second touchdown here in this first half. And the Chargers are going to add on to their lead. Now after the made field goal, back out Lambeau to kick this one off. To return, here comes Marcus Sherrills. And they're going to wind up with pretty good starting field position as they get it up past the 35. And now out comes Minnesota. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that last mistake is their only one of the game.
Coaches, that's all they talk about, turnovers, right?
Minimizing those and maximizing opportunities.
18 yards on the pickup there. And that leads to a Minnesota first down. Here's Bridgewater. Caught on the right side by Treadwell. Call it a 3-yard gain, and it'll be second down.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet, doing a little toe tap to stay in bounds and complete the catch.
And a great job by our crew on the camera shot. Love when you see the grass or on the field turf, those rubber pellets flying up. Great catch.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
And again, it's Bridgewater. That is caught at the 7-yard line. It'll be a 3-yard gain, and it'll be second and goal. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. On second down, Peterson. And he will take this one into the end zone for a Viking touchdown. Adrian Peterson taking it in from 4 yards out. And the Vikings are able to cut into that deficit. Oh, it's a fake. They'll try and throw for it. Hill's hit, and he's got daylight. And picked up by the Chargers. Past the 20. And can you believe this? It's 2 points the other way on the fumble return. And so we have the touchdown. Now here's Blair Walsh to kick this one away. Brandon Oliver now on the return. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. And now San Diego getting set to go. And they were able to punch it in the end zone last time. They'll be looking to do that again here for the defense. Obviously, they'll be looking to stop them from punching it back in the end zone.
It always is punch, counter punch, isn't it? And which team has the advantage? Well, let's just go back. Last time on offense, they rolled downfield, got into a good rhythm. You can see a little more bounce in and out of the huddle. You can see the sideline really get into the game. So defensively, you're thinking to yourself, how do we take that away from them? How do we get the advantage back? Let's see what they come up with. I think pressure is always the first way to go.
You love pressure.
I love it.
We'll see if they dial it up this drive. Here's Rivers. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. It's the linebacker, Chad Greenway, with a pick. And they take possession 2 yards away from midfield at the 48-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And they'll be looking to atone for last time's mistake of fumbling inside the red zone. Certainly they don't want to do that again.
And so much emphasis placed on red zone offense. I mean, you have periods devoted in practice just for that, because everyone knows how vital it is to put points on the board when you've entered that part of the field. And to come away with nothing, that's difficult for a team to handle.
And difficult, and now we'll see if they can make... And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Corey Legion able to get in there and take him down for a loss of 3. They'll need to get this to the 38. That's where the first down marker is here on third. The man in motion is Wright. On third down, Bridgewater. That's caught by Treadwell. And he's brought down after a good gain. A good pickup there at 22. So he makes the grab and the chains move forward.
Nice job by the offensive line giving them time to complete that first down pass.
On 1st and 10, Bridgewater. A dump down to McKinnon. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. And now they're in the hurry-up.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
That is caught at the 7. It's a really nice 15-yard pickup, and now it's 1st and goal.
A really nice read by the offense. They caught the defense not covering the middle of the field, went to the post route, and found the receiver wide open for a nice gain.
They'll run with Peterson. And he'll get it down close to the goal line, but not quite in. Give him 3 on the gain there. 2nd and goal.
I know Adrian Peterson can run away from you in the open field, but he is not a guy that shies away from contact in goal line situations.
And this close to the goal line, they may turn to him again. They come out with 1 back and 3 tight ends. Now it's AP, Adrian Peterson. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Minnesota. Adrian Peterson in the final seconds of the first half. And the Vikings are able to close the gap just a bit. Blair Walsh on to attempt the extra point. And they're able to cut the deficit to 12. And so we have the touchdown. Now here's Blair Walsh to kick this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. The Chargers offense now, they get set to head back on the field. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
That's it for the first half. 2 more quarters to go. We'll have plenty more to see after the break. Here's Walsh now to kick this one off. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Out comes the Chargers as they'll go on offense now to start this 3rd quarter. They had a big first half. Now they have a chance to add to that lead here in the opening possession of the 2nd half.
And everyone always asks about halftime adjustments, kind of the key phrase. What did you do at halftime? Well, the way they ran offense in the first half, I think they were very calm, congratulatory, but also what they were saying is don't expect them to be the same on defense. They'll be the ones making the adjustments. Let's see what they do, and we'll attack accordingly.
And we'll see how they attack here. Rivers now on 2nd down. Eluding the pressure right. And this is going to be incomplete. That one intended for Keenan Allen, and it'll be 3rd and 10. Well, the numbers have been good in the passing game, and certainly a big reason why they have the lead. But now here, 3rd quarter, maybe go to the run game a little more?
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, after that incompletion, a little credit to the defense for shutting them down on that play. Maybe you try and run the football a little bit more in this spot. But they have to feel good about how they've been throwing it overall.
He's going to wind up. And I think that one might have been intercepted, but he will be ruled out of bounds. So this will go only as incomplete. Here's Drew Kaiser now. And the way this offense has moved the ball, he hasn't been needed till here in the 3rd. This is taken at the 18. A great return there, bobbing and weaving his way for 31 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. It's the Vikings' turn on offense. We get ready for their first possession of the 2nd half. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance really to set the tone here in quarter 3.
They can really take charge, can't they? And this is probably how it was drawn up at the half. I think we can go inside the locker room, all right? And I think we would see up on the grease boards, stop them defensively, get the ball back for the offense, and let's go downfield and score. Seems simple, right? The last part, we have to find out if that's going to happen. But the first part worked to perfection. Did exactly what they wanted, and now their offense has to pay it off.
See if they can get the latter 50%. To throw is Bridgewater. The intended receiver was Laquan Treadwell, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down. And the offense looking to pick up the 1st down after the 2nd down incompletion. Bridgewater from the gun on 3rd down. Hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Putting pressure on the guy throwing the football is always good, but when you can couple that with contact on him that leads to an incompletion, as we just saw there, that's winning football.
I guess they figure they got to start taking some chances. Here's a big one in this 3rd quarter as he'll go for it on 4th down. Bridgewater flushed out right. Room here to run. And he will have a 1st down as they get him to the ground at the 37. It'll be a pickup of 12 yards. And on 4th down, they're able to convert and move the sticks. Now a play fake here on 1st down. And right with it here over the middle. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. And now San Diego getting set to go. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of 1st downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Six yards to go here on 2nd down. From the gun, Rivers. Escaping the pressure right. And for a 3rd time tonight, he's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And his guys are going to get the football at the 23-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And the turnover last time, that's sort of been symptomatic of their struggles here in this one.
Big word. I like it, though, because you're exactly right.
Like that, don't you?
All game long, they've struggled moving the ball, turning it over on the last possession. Is that word again, symptomatic?
Yeah.
I like that.
Your analysis, symptomatic of the success of this broadcast.
What I like is that you gave me the word, and I just kept using it.
1st down, here's a run with Peterson. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
All right, Brandon, you know me as well as anyone. You know I don't usually advocate abandoning things during a game, but here we are in the 2nd half. I think it's time to change things up. Let the running game go a little bit. Let's get to the passing game, and if you still want to get in the hands of the runner, maybe you swing it to him, throw it to him a little bit, try it that way.
2nd down, and he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Laquan Treadwell from 6 yards away. And the Vikings capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6. Oh, it's a fake. They'll try and throw for it. And this one incomplete. So they went for the 2. They don't get it. And so we have the touchdown now. Here's Blair Walsh to kick this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep.
Any return that gets you to midfield is a great return. 1 1st down, you're almost in field goal position.
And now San Diego getting set to go. Another pistol look here. 1 man in the backfield is Gordon. And they'll give it to him here. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. In trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down.
They'll put 2 receivers left, 2 to the right. Now a second down throw for Rivers. Flush to his right. Now he's going to throw deep right side. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Xavier Rhodes with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. And now out comes Minnesota. And they're going to need another score. Got one last time, but still down here.
When you're playing catch-up, every possession becomes crucial, doesn't it? It's vital. Get back out on the field, punch it in the end zone again. They know it's not easy, but what they do have going for them, they did score the last time. They think they've got a good formula working.
And what about the defense?
Well, now you're just saying to yourself, okay, we gave up a score last time. What adjustments do we need to make to slow them down now and get the ball back for our own offense? Is it more pressure? Is it more zone? What do they have to do? They're trying to figure that out themselves.
We'll see if they can figure that out right here. A very solid gain of 27. So after that big gain, let's see what else the offense has up its sleeve.
We talk about mobility on quarterbacks all the time. Here's where it really pays off. Able to move, evade, and is accurate throwing on the run and picking up a first down.
And he's brought down. And now following that play, we've got a man down defensively, one of the members of the secondary. And we'll just hope he's all right to continue. So the offense has it 1st and 10. First down throw for Bridgewater. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
You got to give some credit. They're able to hop up in the air and bat that one away. And that's frustrating for an offensive lineman because the only recourse is when he goes in the air to try and give some type of a pop or a shove, hoping to bring his arms down.
Throwing again, Bridgewater on 2nd and 10. Oh, there's that man again. It's complete. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs.
Looked like the screen pass was taken away there, and that was a nice job of improvising, but it's not normal. Usually when the screen pass is taken away, you're taught to just throw the ball at the ground at the feet of the receiver so that you don't get it intercepted and just start over, but he ended up finding another receiver.
And we're back now in Mission Valley and San Diego. It's the Vikings in possession of the football, but they need some points. They're trailing here to start the 4th. And here comes play number 6 on this drive. They'll run it now out of the gun. And strong running there as he's inside the 10 and down to the 8-yard line. They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
If you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
A 10th carry now for Peterson. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. 7 yards on the pickup there, and now they've got it 1st and goal.
And that's a nice pickup of a first down on that 2nd down run. And at that yardage gained, they can run that play on any down.
And they'll turn to the power game to try to get in. And he will take this one into the end zone for a Viking touchdown. Zach Line punching it in from a yard away. And if the Vikings can take care of business on the extra point, they will have the lead. And so we have the touchdown. Now here's Blair Walsh to kick this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. And now San Diego getting set to go. They'll put 2 receivers left, 2 to the right. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And this is caught. I think he got that with one hand. A good pickup there at 22. The last drive he threw the pick, but he's not shy. He's going downfield again there.
And you can't be, because if you back off after throwing an interception, your whole game plan just goes right out the window, and it makes things easier for a defense. And you and I both know there's a quarterback in this league that's any good that doesn't throw an interception occasionally, and they usually bounce back in a big way. I've seen guys throw 5 and still find a way to win the game in the end.
Play fake to Gordon. Now Rivers surveying the field. And a little floater there is incomplete.
There are a good number of coaches at any time they call an in route are really worried about the play because there's so much traffic ordinarily that the ball has to get through to get to the receiver. And on that play, it was batted down.
Rivers again. And Allen's got it. And he'll be taken down, but not before getting this inside the 30. And they're able to convert on third with a solid gain of 23. So after that big play, let's see if they can catch their defense maybe on their heels. On 1st and 10, Rivers buying time to his left. His throw incomplete. The veteran James Jones, the intended target. And it'll be 2nd and 10.
When you see passes knocked down by those guys I call the frustrated fullbacks, the linebackers, you know that in their zone coverage, they're able to drop, see the ball thrown, and react to it very quickly.
And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Xavier Rhodes with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. And now out comes Minnesota. And they will simply, Charles, be looking to duplicate what they did last drive when they were able to push it in for 6.
And they hope it'll be that easy, right? To be able to take exactly what happened before, replicate it. They may have to make a few additional changes along the way because I'm sure the defense will make some adjustments, but they've got to have great confidence having scored the last time out.
That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down. And this situation with a lead 4th quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
Time is starting to run out, really becoming a factor. We'll see if the defense can get the stop they need to get the ball back to the offense. Time for a break. We'll come back for the electrifying conclusion after this. The man in motion is White. A 2nd down throw for Bridgewater. And he's got his favorite target yet again. It's complete. They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains. Well, we haven't been shortchanged on offense. Another fun play to watch there on the deep pass.
This game has the feel of, a Turkey Bowl, a Thanksgiving Day. You know, when we get together this year and the Davises and the Gaudens get together, that's what our playbook's going to look like they're drawing them up in the dirt, and so far it's working for both of them.
No gain, and it's 2nd down. They rolled out of the pocket right, and I think he wanted a little something more out of that play, obviously. Instead, he hit a safety back.
It looked like 2 well-coached teams there, even though there was no yardage gain, because the offensive guys, they realized their quarterback was out of the pocket. All the receivers went to the right spots, tried to get in his sight line, tried to open themselves up. Just nowhere to go where they could gain yardage. How about the defensive guys, though? Did not lose leverage and kept their poise and made a really nice play.
To throw is Bridgewater. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. They'll give him 8 on the play, and that'll make it 3rd and 1.
It's interesting because when I'm watching college football and I'm evaluating guys for the draft now, my list of fullbacks, pure fullbacks, it's a very short list. I'm probably evaluating more punters and kickers now than I am fullbacks, but it doesn't matter what you call the position, it's who you put there, and there we saw completion.
They come out here in the eye. They'll try and wind down some clock with Peterson. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. To give him 17 yards that time, as that'll move the chains. So the offense lining up 1st and 10.
I thought guys that were over 30 weren't supposed to run the football this well in the National Football League. How about that veteran leadership? A big-time run combined with some nice blocking by his offensive line, showing that the ins and outs of being a veteran still has his place in this league. His odometer is not totally turned over yet.
This is one of those games where you hate that anybody has to lose. So many points, so many great offensive outputs individually and collectively, but somebody had to go down.
And even the losing team had fun, although they won't admit it to us here in the media. But they had a blast because that kind of football, back and forth, touchdown after touchdown, it's fun for everyone. But the winning team, they had a little bit more fun than everyone else.
So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, and this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. From San Diego, so long and good night, everybody.